StudyIQ IAS. अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल.
Good evening all. I hope you're doing fine. My name is Pooja Devedi. Welcome to my class, The Daily Current Affairs. To ensure that your preparation is on track, specifically with respect to current affairs, the Daily Current Affairs will help you on a daily basis. The prelims questions are more relevant, of course, from the perspective of prelims. The explanation part is important for both pre and mains. Whenever I go on with my classes, I accept that everybody may be thinking that this is important, I must write notes on that. Do not do that, because I provide the notes on my Telegram channel. This is Pooja Devedi UPSC, the Telegram channel. If you have any queries regarding this examination, you can talk to me on my Instagram as well. So these are the various events that we have to cover. First event is a practice question that I gave you to solve. Many of you have answered it correctly, so I will take your names by the end of this class. However, let's solve it together. Consider the following: reduction of redundancy and savings, foreign exchange earnings, global acceptance and streamline export process. So how many of the above is or are the advantage of India becoming an international organization of legal metrology certificate issuing authority? India has recently become the 13th country to issue certificates, and this authority has been granted by the International Organization of Legal Metrology. This is a standard setting body. Of course, it is international in nature, and it was established in 1955. India became a member only in the year 1956. Okay, and this body sets the standards across different nations, that clinical thermometers should be of this standard, barometers should be of this standard, or any other object that is used to measure something must be of this standard. So when India becomes the 13th country, it can now issue certificates to its manufacturers. And just think, this is a conceptual question. Supposedly, India provides a certificate. I am a manufacturer, and this certificate, this issuing of the certificate has been authorized by an international standard setting body. Then what will happen? As a manufacturer, I will save on cost when it comes to getting authority or certificate from any other international body. First that, so I will save a lot of money. Redundancy, that means obsoleteness or the state of something not being useful anymore, will also get reduced. And other than that, we can also say that if I manufacture anything, and because the standard setting body has already given me a certificate, that product will also be acceptable in the world. That of course, this is according to the standards that are met, we must purchase this object. So that will also give global acceptance and export streamlining. And when I am selling these things, I will earn foreign exchange. So all the three that have been given here are the advantages of India becoming a certificate issuing authority, and this authority has been granted by International Organization of Legal Metrology. All three are correct. Okay, so India has become the International Organization of Legal Metrology certificate issuing authority. I've already told you that it's the 13th country. The list consists of 13 countries right now. It was established, the International Organization of Legal Metrology. It was established in 1955, and the headquarters are at Paris. Sometimes that can also be asked. Consider the following pairs. International bodies will be given, and you have to match them with the headquarters. This kind of questions UPSC loves. And when did India sign the metric convention? It was in the year 1956 only, when it became a member. And it develops model regulation standards, related documents for legal metrology authorities and industry use to harmonize the national laws and regulations so that there can be uniformity. Clinical thermometers, alcohol breath analyzers, radar speed measuring instruments, ship tanks at ports, and petrol dispensing units all have a particular standard, and this standard is set by the body that I told you about. So these are the many advantages. Export facilitation. The more accepted a particular country is, manufactures from a particular country is, the better will be the exports. When you sell something to a foreign land, you will of course earn foreign currency, and it will of course generate more employment. There will be reduction of redundancy and savings and global acceptance and streamlined export process. Okay, so I hope you understood how it works. Now let me tell you something about our P2I batch. The P2I batch, that is the long-term batch, has already begun from 16th of September, and this is an evening batch. Any of you, if you want to be a part of it, please do so, because it is a long-term batch. It will give you an edge over your other competitors, because we are preparing you for UPSC 2025, and this is available in Hindi, English and English. Okay, according to your own suitability, you can take any batch. And this P2I batch will not only consist preparation of GS for prelims, mains and interviews, but also CSAT, ethics, essay, even mock interviews will be given, and prelims test series, mains test series, daily answer writing practice. A StudyIQ campus program is also there. If you're able to qualify UPSC Prelims 2025, you will be called to the StudyIQ campus to prepare there for the mains examination free of any extra charges. Just make sure for any course that you are going to apply for, make sure you use the code PDLive so that you can get courses at a discount. For this, it is 35,999. Okay. Do not worry about the classes you have already missed, because 16th, just few days back, we started this, and you will get your classes in recorded format. Now let's move on to our next question. Our next question is with respect to polity. With respect to the special session of the parliament, consider the following statements. Let me just capitalize this. The term special session is not explicitly, that means it is not anywhere written in a very understood manner that special session is defined like this and special session means this in the Constitution of India. Article 85 clause 1 of the Indian Constitution grants the President the authority to call Parliament into session, including special sessions, as deemed necessary. So which of the statements given above is or are correct? The special session of the Parliament has begun from today onwards. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in his speech, talked about the various historical figures, achievements, sometimes of hardships about this parliament. And he thoroughly went from one prime minister to another prime minister and counted their achievements and how parliament worked during the times of COVID. How parliament made sure that when the world is at standstill, our country shouldn't be at standstill at the cost of their own lives as well. So the term special session, it is not anywhere written in the Constitution that a special session means this. It's not given anywhere. So first statement is definitely correct in that regard. And Article 85 clause 1 says the President shall from time to time, there is no schedule. We are by convention following budget session, monsoon session and winter session. But there should not be a lag of more than 6 months between two sessions of the Parliament. But this is not any sort of schedule that has been mentioned in the Constitution, not at all. And according to Article 85 clause 1, it is the President who decides it according to the Constitution. But President will only decide it when the Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs will give the suggestion. More and so, it is on the Prime Minister and the Cabinet Ministers, the Cabinet basically, who suggests it to the President. And who considers this suggestion? The Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs, then they will suggest it to the President. It works like this. But in the Constitution, it is written the President. So the Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs, which is headed by the Defence Minister, many of the students do not know this, or they get confused between Department of Parliamentary Affairs and Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs. So Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs, and I repeat, the Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs is headed by the Defence Minister. I'm repeating again. Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs is headed by the Defence Minister and not the Prime Minister, not the Minister of Parliamentary Affairs. Remember that. Okay, do not get confused like this. So first statement is correct, second statement is also correct, both 1 and 2 will be the correct answer. So what is a special session of the Parliament? It's a unique meeting that generally takes place outside the conventional time of the Parliament session. If it is not taking place in the monsoon, budget, or winter session, any other session which is uniquely called is a special session. It's not mentioned in the constitution and its convening is carried out according to Article 85 Clause 1. I have already in depth told you about this. And special sessions with debates that have taken place. This is our history. In 1962, the agenda on the Indochina War. 1997, when Indian Parliament marked 50th anniversary. And 2015, a special session commemorated Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's 125th birth anniversary. With respect to Santiniketan, consider the following statements. It was established before the partition of Bengal. It is the 41st UNESCO World Heritage Site in India, and it was a residential school and center for art based on ancient Indian traditions and a vision of the unity of humanity transcending religious and cultural boundaries. How many of the statements given above is or are not correct? Recently, Santiniketan, according to the World Heritage Committee meeting that is going on in Riyadh, it will go on till 25th of September. It has decided that the World Heritage List should consist of India's Santiniketan. And Santiniketan with that has become the 41st UNESCO World Heritage Site in India. Alright. And it was established before the partition of Bengal in 1901 by whom? By the Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore. Of course, Tagore became Tagore, so Rabindranath Tagore. It was a residential school and a center for art based on ancient Indian traditions and a vision of the unity of human values which doesn't know any cultural or religious boundary. First is correct, second is correct, third is also correct. How many are not correct? None are not correct. Rabindranath Tagore or Tagore's Santiniketan has been inscribed at the UNESCO World Heritage List. It becomes 41st UNESCO World Heritage Site in India and it is the third in West Bengal. Some first two of West Bengal include Sundarbans National Park and Darjeeling Mountain Railways. Also, the state's Durga Pujo or Durga Puja is an intangible cultural heritage of humanity under UNESCO. You have to also tell me in the comment segment when this was designated, in which year. Now, I have already told you about these much. I would also like to tell you that the World University Visva Bharati, it was established in Santiniketan in 1921. Okay, moving on. Consider the following pairs: animal, creature, symbolism. We have to match the animal or creature and for what they stand. How many pairs given above is or are correct? There are 6 important entrances in the new parliamentary building. And in the special session only, from the old parliament, we are moving to the new parliament. And it was a very, emotional moment for each and every parliamentarian that was sitting over there. Because in this current parliamentary building, it was when our first ever Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, gave the very famous speech of independence, that we made a tryst with destiny. India made a tryst with destiny that India will get her rightful place in the world. Now, animal or creature and the symbolism, Gaja or Gaj in Hindi, aspiration of administrators of the country, Makar or Makara in English, unity in diversity, Garud or Garuda, wisdom and wealth, intellect and memory, and Hamsa or swan, self-realization born of wisdom. So, how many pairs given above is or are correct? If you're a Harry Potter enthusiast, you must be remembering Garud Dwar that we saw the Harry Potter movie in Hindi. So, you can relate like that as well. Gaj or Gaja. Who is Gaj? It's the elephant. Elephant means, of course, elephant or Gaja is a symbol of wisdom, wealth, intellect, and memory. Because we know that elephants have a very strong emotional memory. They never forget. So, Gaja is with that. Garuda, on the other hand, is showing us the aspiration of administrators. How it's an eagle, basically. So, how an eagle has such a sharp eye on everything from the sky, an eagle's eye view. So, it gives the aspiration of administrators of the countries. Makara is basically a mythological creature that has the culmination of animal body parts, different animals' body parts. That means unity in diversity. Then Hamsa or swan. It is actually a symbol of self-realization, born of wisdom. Ability to judge perfectly, ability to judge well. So first is incorrect, third is incorrect because these are interchanged. Makara and Hamsa, or Makar or Hams or Swan, these two are correct, 2 and 4. So 2 and 4, how many are correct? 2 only will be the correct answer, because other than that 2 is wrong. The rest of the 2 are wrong. The new parliament has 6 entrances. Gaja or Gajadwar is the north one, that shows wisdom and wealth, intellect and memory. It embodies the aspirations of the elected representatives of the democracy. Then we have Aswa or horse, how it with so much speed and grit, it takes part in the race of life. So it's the southern entrance, endurance and strength, power and speed. It shows the quality of governance. This is how the quality of governance should be. Strength, power and speed. Garuda. It's at the eastern ceremonial entrance, aspirations of the people and the administrator of the country. Makara is a mythological creature that combines the bodily parts of different animals that represents unity and diversity among the people of India. Shardula is also a mythological creature. It is said to be the most powerful, foremost of all living beings, that shows the power of the people of the country. No parliamentarian is anything without us. No parliamentarian, no minister is anything without the people of India. In the constitution also, it is the people of India who have adopted, enacted and given to ourselves the constitution, not the parliamentarians. The parliamentarians are sitting there because of you, because of us. Hamsa or swan, power of discernment, that means power to judge properly, and self-realization born of wisdom. That means if you have garnered and gathered a lot of experience, you will get wisdom from that knowledge. If I got bit by a snake in certain part of the jungle or somewhere I went, I may not want to go there again. So that's my wisdom, because it is built on my experience. It is at the northeast as per the plan. Now let's talk about the next question. It is situated in northwestern Madhya Pradesh, and one of its boundaries runs along the boundaries of Rajasthan. The sanctuary was notified in 1974. River Chambal flows through the sanctuary, dividing it into 2 parts. It consists of vast open landscapes with sparse vegetation and rocky terrain. The principal tree species found here are Hai, Talai, Kardai, Tavda, Tendu, Palash and the like. So which of the following protected areas is being referred to? If you are talking about some wildlife sanctuaries, make sure you know about the coordinates of it or some special features of it, because UPSC also asks us about special features. This is one of the, we can say, models on which UPSC can give you a question. Other than this, it can write, with respect to this particular national park or wildlife sanctuary or protected area, consider the following statements. So they will break it down according to these statements. This is also a model. So you have to ensure that you know the facts and you can connect with it. So it is situated in the northwest Madhya Pradesh and has a boundary with Rajasthan. One of its boundaries is running with Rajasthan. And other than that, very importantly, the river Chambal flows through it, which divides it into 2 parts. Other than this, it was notified in the year 1974, and the kind of tree species it has given is also important. From these many important statements, we get to know that we are talking about Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary. On 17th September 2022, we introduced cheetahs again in our country. Officially, they were declared extinct in India in 1952 by habitat loss, and sometimes we can also say by the docile nature of the cheetahs themselves. They can easily be tamed. If you train a cheetah, they can easily be tamed. They can behave like a house cat or a house dog. A year since the introduction of the cheetah project, the other destination apart from the Kuno National Park will be Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary. That is over here, as you can see, close to the border of Rajasthan and in northwest Madhya Pradesh. Also, it of course was notified in the year 1974 as a wildlife sanctuary. It spread over an area of 368 square kilometers. Its vast expanse is mostly in Mandsaur and Neemuch, these two districts of Madhya Pradesh. The river Chambal flows through it, divides it into two parts. Khair, Talai, Kardhai, Davda, Tendu, Palash kind of trees are found over here. The wildlife, specifically the prey base, include Chinkara, Nilgai, spotted deer. Carnivores include Indian leopard, striped hyena and jackal. Aquatic life includes crocodile, fish, otters and turtles. It is also designated, remember, it is also designated as important bird and biodiversity area. It is very, we can say significant for cheetahs, or prominently chosen for cheetahs because of its vast open spaces and grassland interspersed with scrubs. It also has at certain point dense forest. The process of translocating spotted deer is also in the process. Why? Because they are a prey base for cheetahs and cheetahs need to hunt. Consider the following statements. The official language and the national language of the Union shall be Hindi in Devanagari script. The form of numerals to be used for the official purpose of the Union shall be international form of Indian numerals. The Munshi Iyengar formula considered the demands of the Hindi protagonists and the delegates from South India. How many of these statements given above is or are correct? Although we know that according to Article 343, Hindi is our official language, but not national language. It's not written anywhere that it is going to be a national language. So here it is written official language and the national language both. No, only official. This is how UPSC will confuse you a lot. So make sure you do not get confused like this. Read the entire statement, then only mark it correct or incorrect. The form of numerals to be used for the official purposes of the Union shall be international form of Indian numerals. This is definitely correct. We follow international numerals, international kind of numerals on the basis of Indian numerals. And the Munshi Iyengar formula considered the demands of the Indian Hindi protagonists and also the delegates from South India. The delegates of South India wanted that English should be the official language, but they balanced it and made it an official language, Hindi, but English as well is an official language, but not designated any one language as national language. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? Second is correct, third is correct, first is not correct, two only will be the correct answer. We are talking about Gopalaswamy Iyengar and K. Munshi. And this formula, they balanced out what the Hindi protagonists wanted and the South Indians wanted. The South Indians wanted English to be the official language, but of course, it was eventually both the languages, Hindi and English. Article 343 of the Constitution, which was adopted in 1950, says the official language of the Union shall be Hindi in Devanagari script. Devanagari script is also mentioned, not only the language but the script we have to use. The written format we have to use is also mentioned, so UPSC can ask you that as well. The form of numerals to be used, I have told you this, and the Constituent Assembly chose Hindi as the country's official, not the national language. Consider the following statements about Nipa virus infection. I have told you so many times about the Nipa virus. I hope you can answer this question. It is an emerging zoonotic disease reported in its first case in Ethiopia. In the late 1990s, large fruit bats are the natural reservoir of Nipa virus infection. So which of the statements given above is or are correct? If you have been following my classes, you can easily answer this question. Please answer it correctly in your minds. See, it's an emerging zoonotic disease. That is definitely correct. But when was it found out? Where was it found out? It was in Malaysia and Singapore. Malaysia in 1998, Singapore in 1999 when pigs got infected. 300 people got infected after that. Zoonotic disease means what? It means when any disease can transfer itself from animals to humans. That is a zoonotic disease. So first statement is incorrect on the basis of that. Large fruit bats, that means flying foxes. They are a good reservoir of Nipah virus. Nipah virus is genetically related to Hendra virus as well. Okay, Hendra. Hendra virus is another sort of, Nipah virus because its genesis Nipah virus. What is the family of Nipah virus? Paramyxoviridae. Okay, so remember all this. Small things UPSC can confuse you with. One is incorrect, second is correct. Two only will be the correct answer. This is the fourth outbreak Kerala is witnessing of the Nipah virus since 2018. And the protocol we are following right now in Kerala to control this disease is the guidelines of 2021. So, human Nipah virus infection is a new zoonotic disease from the family Paramyxoviridae. Its genesis Nipah virus and it is genetically related to Hendra virus. Hendra virus is another sort of Nipa virus, and these two are found very well in large fruit bat from the genus Pteropus. And that is why it was very easily, it was found out that these are the reservoirs. Fruit bats are the reservoirs of Nipah virus. All right, large fruit bats. Presumably, pigs may become infected after consumption of partially bat-eaten fruits. When we come closer with any species, specifically animal species, zoonotic diseases are said to happen. Which of the following countries have agreed to share the technology on K9 Vajra to strengthen defense cooperation? India and Russia, India and South Korea, India and Japan, India and Israel. It is actually India and South Korea. Option B is correct. South Korea is willing to share technology. Very important. When we get technology, everything gets sorted. Manufacturing capacity, any country can open, but technology is very good. Technology transfer is very rare. South Korea sees India as a potential partner against China. That is why it is trying to build and strengthen relationship with us. Technology on submarines and missile system with India to strengthen defense cooperation. We have agreed to share cooperation in and training as well in K9 Vajra. It is a 52 caliber tracked self-propelled howitzer designed by a South Korean company. It will also provide, South Korea will also provide us $4 billion as a line of credit for the next 3 years to build high value projects. Next question. He was born on September 15, 1861 in the Muddinahalli village of Karnataka after completing his school education in his hometown, and later on went to study Bachelor of Arts at the University of Madras. He then pursued a diploma in civil engineering at the College of Science in Pune. Having played a role in major public work projects across the nation, he later served as the 19th Diwan of Mysore and wrote 2 books on the Indian economy. The above mentioned lines refer to. You can answer this question. 15th of September is Engineers Day, which is to commemorate the birthday of Sir Mokshagundam Visvesvaraya. So, the correct answer to this question is Sir Mokshagundam Visvesvaraya, because seldom you must have read M. Visvesvaraya. It was important to know the first name as well. He was born in 1861 on 15 September in the Muddinahalli village of Karnataka. Some of his significant works include introduction of the block system of irrigation in the Deccan Canals in 1899, solving the problem of muddy and discolored water in the city of Sukkur located at the banks of Indus River, inventing automatic gates meant to regulate the flow of water in reservoirs, which is patented. Okay, moving on. This is a practice question for you to solve. You have to answer it correctly in the comment segment. With reference to the Hyderabad in the late 1940s, consider the following statements. The state had a majority Hindu population with the state administration entirely run by its Muslim rulers. The primary strike against Hyderabad state forces was led by Major General Chaudhry's division. Operation Vijay was launched by the Indian Army to integrate the princely state of Hyderabad. So you have to answer it. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? Okay. So you have to answer it correctly. Let me take the names of those students who have answered my last question correctly. That was option C, right? So let me take your names so that you can answer this question as well. Prabhat has answered it correctly. No, Uttam, I'm never going to end this series. Do not worry. Yash Jain has answered it correctly. Gautam has answered it correctly. Priyadarshan has answered it correctly. Vaibhav, I know it helped. I think and I hope it helped. I know it helped too. Padmashri has answered it correctly. Mansi has answered it correctly. Very well done, Mansi. Shantanu has answered it correctly. Shubham, Aditya, Vinay, Abhishek, Ritu, Siddharth, Harshit, B Life Facts has answered it correctly. Simran, Riya, Mukul. Then my mobile phone has answered it correctly. It's a username. Kanika, then Ashu, Neeraja. Thank you so much, Neeraja. Okay, so answer this question as well. That's it. Thank you so much for watching.
StudyIQ IAS. अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल।